Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It is Sunday, March 16th. So, what are we going to be talking about today? Well, I got to thinking about it so far over the weekend, yesterday when I was walking, is what causes customers to come back, customer loyalty? And what are the different levels of customers that you meet? So, stay tuned. Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric, and yes, this is the weekend, Sunday, March 16th, 2025. So, what are we talking about today? I know a lot of you guys are shop owners or work in a shop. And so I thought today we'd talk about customer loyalty and what does that actually mean and how does that actually take place, right? For most of us, customer loyalty means that they will keep coming back because they're happy with the work you do, right? But there are different levels of customers, and no matter what you do, you may not get them back. Now that's kind of an oxymoron, right? What do you mean if you do good work, they won't come back? See, we see a number of customers that do their own stuff, all right? And the only time we see it is if they get in over their heads. So we may see a machine and get it fixed for an individual and do a great job for a great price and not see them again until they get in over their heads, if they do. So that's one type of customer. The other is I need it. I'm new to the area. I need a service quick, and they bring it to you. You go get it, or they bring it to you, and you run it through the shop. Do a great job on the service, and make sure everything is good, working order. You drop it off, you get paid. You think everything is great, but see, this person is new to the area. And maybe a friend of theirs that they've met says, "Oh, you don't want to go there. You want to go where I go." And that's over here at this other shop. Now, even though you did superb work, you probably aren't going to see that customer again either. Unless they run into a situation of where you've done a lot better job than the other shop. And a lot of times that to an untrained person, they don't notice that. And then you actually have the customers that come back every year or every time they have a problem. Those are your main core customers, right? And how do you do that? How do you get loyal customers? It sounds pretty easy, right? But it really is not. Because you're trying to meet their expectations, and actually you're trying to exceed them. And their expectations may be up here, but your service is here, right? And it may be because they've never had, let's say, a riding lawnmower before, and now they have one, and they bring it to you to service. And you do a great job on the service. You run through it, check it, make sure it looks good. But it doesn't look any different than what it did when it came in. So the customer expectations aren't met. So how can we as shop owners help try to push it to the next level? And many of you are already doing this. And that pressure washing the unit before it comes in for anything. Get it cleaned up. It will do two things at once. One, it'll make the unit look a lot cleaner, run a lot cooler because you don't have a bunch of crap on the engine and everything. But it will also make it a lot easier for you as a mechanic or your mechanic to work on it. And if your shop is real busy, I know it's time consuming to get the pressure washer out and do it. A lot of times you can hire just a laborer to come in and all their job is to pressure wash units before and after. Because if you spill oil or this or that while you're working on a unit or get grease, sometimes the after hitting it with the pressure washer as it goes out the door is just as important as the way it was when it came in. See, customers aren't expecting that anymore. Used to be that level of service was pretty much standard across all the shops. But now it's a rare occurrence. And, you know, by doing that and having their machine look really nice when it's ready for pickup or when you drop it off, also instills in the customer that you are taking care of them and their machine. You took pride in taking care of their unit. Now, I know some of you are going to say, but Eric, it takes time, right? And you keep telling us we need to keep our billable hours down, but yet now you're telling us we need to take an extra hour to pressure wash somebody's unit and make sure it looks pretty. It's an hour well spent. Try it. If you aren't doing it, try it. And if you have a mechanic that said that's below my pay scale, tell them too bad. That's part of the package deal. I mean, if you can hire somebody part-time, where if you take and have drop-offs over the weekend, if you could have somebody working part-time for you come in and pressure wash units on a Sunday to make extra money, that might work out. I've been known to grab the pressure washer because I've seen layers of dirt on engines, and I'm thinking they're made out of aluminum so that they can cool easier, right? We don't have, unless you get up into the Kawasaki's and those, on your regular lawnmowers, we do not have liquid cooled engines. It's air cooled with the fan up top, right? But you also need to have that aluminum block dirt free so that the heat can dissipate from the block. If not, your engine is going to be running hotter than normal, than what it should be. And what ends up happening if the engine is running hotter than normal, it starts breaking the oil down inside the base, right? So that engine is not going to last as long as it would if it was taken care of. I do have some customers that pressure wash their unit every time they use it. And for those customers, I don't need to be as critical with. I do a wipe down so that it looks nice when it leaves the shop. Again, you're showing that you take pride in your work and that you're taking care of that customer's unit. That has value to you. That builds customer loyalty. See, price isn't always the end game. People don't mind paying for getting something that is worth some money. And that is, even if you have to take the time to explain to the customer, we pressure washed your whole unit, and the biggest reason we did is because it's not able to breathe. It's overheating. And it's not to get down on that person, especially if that person is bringing you that lawnmower every year. But you get dirt built up and it starts to cake on. And, I've seen lawnmowers come in for guys that do their own work and everything, changing the oil and plugs and get in over their heads and have a half inch of dirt built up around that whole aluminum block on that engine. And you just shake your head like, what? And then underneath the hood, it'll be dirt everywhere, caked right on. I can tell the ones that don't take care of their stuff, and that's simply by lifting the hood or looking on top of the deck. If they don't keep the top of the deck cleaned off every time, Doesn't take much. You can either get in there with your paws and paw it out, or as we do at the shop, we have the air compressor that we use, a blow tip, blow it all out. I mean, I'm not telling you that your shop needs to be a full detail shop, but it helps when it comes to retaining and having loyal customers. Being honest about the work you did. Some customers, all they care about is it done? Is it ready to go? And here's the money. Give me the bill. I'll pay the bill and have a carefree summer. That's where some of my customers are at. Other customers are looking at the bill. What did we do? And what were the issues? And okay, let me give you a check, or here's my debit card, or here's cash. We love cash. And thank you. And then you have the next level. That is trying to figure out, well, why did you do this? Or why did you do that? Or why did you... And you have to have reasonable answers to their questions, right? If we replace somebody's battery, it's because we did a slow trickle charge, a fast charge, then trickle. And if the battery after 6 hours is not able to hold the charge, and you can get one of those units from Tractors or from Harbor Freight for around $20-25, where you can test batteries and stuff. We use it for both testing batteries, and we also use it to see if the charging system is working on those lawnmowers. Because we've had customers call us and say that they have to keep jump starting their unit, and they put in another new battery and they're still having the same problem. And what ends up happening is for whatever reason, it's not charging back to the battery. See, the battery needs to have a charge, especially if you got electric PTO, because sometimes your electric PTO will take and draw that juice down in that battery, and what the alternator's putting out. If it's not putting out enough juice, it's going to suck that battery dry, and then it's going to quit. The whole unit will quit. And if you go to try to start it, you aren't going to be able to start it, right? So being able to explain things of why you're doing certain things. If the battery does not hold a charge after 6 hours of just above trickle charging, usually at 10 amp, then good chances are the battery's got to be replaced. And the quality of the batteries this day and age, as you guys well know, isn't that great. I mean, it used to be you could get a battery for a lawnmower and it would last 5, 6, sometimes 10 years. Now we're seeing some that aren't even lasting a year. And a lot of them are Walmart Tractor Supply batteries. Not to single them out, but those are the ones that we see the most from customers. But you need to be able to explain in layman's terms to a customer what you did and why you did it. And Claude used to get upset when anybody would, and it wasn't criticizing his work, it was having him explain what he did and why he did it. And a lot of times he wouldn't do it in layman. He would jump right to the mechanical side of him, which is what he is. But if I knew what he did, I could explain it in layman's terms of what he did and why he did it. And that's why usually I'll go over the bill with him before I call the customer, so that I know the correct answers to anything that customer might ask. If you're honest with your customers, that builds customer loyalty as well. Amos, you said it. There's some shops that the more parts they can put on a lawnmower, the more they can bill. And that's simply not right. If they don't need the part, as far as I'm concerned, that's fraud. That's taking advantage of your customer. If you're not getting enough work and you feel the need to have to put the screws to the customers you do have, you need to spend more time on how to get more work. Not take advantage of the ones that are bringing the work to you. Because in short order, they'll stop bringing the work to you. They will. What surprised me was when I did the video the other day of taking pride in your work. I look at how many likes and dislikes. Not that it matters to me, but it kind of gauges where I think people are at. And only 85% of the 100% gave it thumbs up. Now, granted, usually if you get a thumbs up or a thumbs down, it's people that either really like the video and think highly of that topic, or people that hate the video and felt somehow slighted. But there's got to be something wrong with that system, because 85% of the people can't be the ones that take pride in their business. So to tell me that 15% don't out of 100% just seems like a high number. But I didn't know whether, when I said, like my son working for Ford, the new Fords, that he talks about being parts replacers, because he plugs it in and it tells him where the issue is. If that's what turned you off and gave me a thumbs down, you are more than parts replacers. It gives you a general drift of where to go. And it takes a lot of schooling to become knowledgeable on the programs you're using. I get all that. What I was trying to get across is old school versus new school. Old school, you had to diagnose everything on your own. New school, you've got technology helping you do the diagnostic. And then you do the repair. Where old school, they had to do their own diagnostic and then do the repair. It's no slight on the new mechanics. Not one iota. It's just the difference. And what used to be old school and now new school. Old school mechanics cannot work on the new crap that's out there. They don't want to learn technology. Most of them are computer illiterate. And with the car dealerships and stuff, they send their guys, their mechanics away for training on how to use and how to diagnose using the tools that you have right now. And it's not going to be that much farther ahead. I'd say 15, 20 years max, that you're going to pull your vehicle in and you're going to have a computer plug your vehicle in and do the necessary repairs on it without a mechanic ever laying a hand on it. I know it sounds crazy, but AI is coming fast, so be ready for it. Well, on that note, you guys have a great Sunday. Leave in the comments what you think. What are other things that you can do to gain customer loyalty that maybe I haven't brought up that you do in your shop? Because this old dog, you could teach new tricks. If there's other things that I could do to make it better for my customer. And that's what I'm trying to do here on this channel, is to help you make it better for your customer and yourself as well. So you guys have a great Sunday, and we'll see you here bright and early for the weekday on Monday.